Hey guys, welcome to another chapter of the Golang course. So we are going to be continuing from where we ended, and in this section we're going to be talking about array slices and maps in Go. So we're going to start with the first one. So as usual, let's start with that. Um, let's create a folder and let's call it arrays. Okay, and let's just say arrays.go. Okay, and as usual, always going to involve package the package main. Okay, now so we're going to start with arrays, right? Because we're going to divide into three sections: arrays, slices, and maps. So we're going to start with the first part, which is all about arrays. Now in Go, arrays are fixed sequence of elements, right, of the same type, while slices are dynamically sized, right? So we can say slices are kind of like flexible arrays. Yeah. So slices are often used due to their flexibility and built-in functionality. So you should also take note of that whenever you're working or whenever you have to choose between using an array or a slice, right? So just take that into consideration. So we're going to start with the first thing where we're going to be importing. We're going to import the FMT, okay, or let's just do it like this. Okay, and then we're going to say func main. And so here we're going to be able to write an example. We're going to see how we can use arrays and how we can use slices. So we're going to start by saying var grades, and that grades 5. So what this grade is, that it's an array of 5 integers. So we're going to add here int, right? So I've declared an array of 5 integers, and now we're going to be assigning values to the array element. So we're going to say at grade, let's add grade index 0, we're going to assign maybe, let's say 95. At grade 185 is 70, 86, and so on and so forth, right? So we can now say fmt print f, or should we print f? No, print ln. Okay, now in this fmt print ln, we're going to be able to print all the grades and the other grades we have here, which are coming from the array that we specified earlier. So, and we can also use fmt to be able to access the first elements by the index, as you would normally know that the grades, as you normally know that to be able to access a value in an array, we need that index. So let's just say first element, or let's just say first grade. So let's say first grade. Okay, it's going to be grades at index 0. Alright, so it's going to be the grade at index 0. And if we try running that, so if we do that here now and we say go run arrays.go, you see we get this. And mind you that when you don't fill all the values, then the last value is obviously populated with a 0, right? With a 0. That's like something that happens behind the scenes, and you get the first grade is 95. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last value was assigned 5. Okay, so that's how we do it. Now I'm going to talk about the next part, which is about slices. Okay, so we can just comment out all of these and just go ahead now and work with slices. Okay, so with slices, like we already said, right, slices provide a more flexible alternative or flexibility in terms of arrays, right? They can grow and shrink dynamically, and they have built-in functions, right, for common operations. We're going to see all of that. So how then do we define slice? So we're going to say grades. Okay, we say grades, and we do something like this. Like we don't specify the number, and then we can start inserting. So we can say 90. We can say 90. No, 90. 85, and let's just say 60, right? And if we want to append a new value, or if we want to append or add a new element into the slice, we just call again the grades, okay? And what we do is that we say append, because this is a function, right? You see the append takes in the slice that we are currently working with, and then we add the element that we need to add to it or append to it. So we could maybe say we want to append, let's say 88, right? So that's going to be it. Now we want to print the same thing. We want to print maybe the grades of all the grades that are in the slice. We want to print the length and the capacity of the underlying slice, right? So the first one gives us the full slice, right? Prints in grades. And now the second one gives us the length of the slice, and the third gives us the capacity of the underlying array. Okay, so let's give that a run. Okay, let me clear this and do this. And then the capacity is 6. Okay, and we have 4, right? So that's it. That's how you get the length. Fortunately, we don't have something like grades.length, so length, it's kind of like some sort of function, right? So that's how it works. Okay, so from there we are going to be moving on to little mini project. Yeah, so there we're going to be going to a mini project, and in this mini project, right, let me see. And in this mini project, what we're going to do is that we are just going to, let me comment this out, okay, so that it doesn't interfere with what we're working. So in this mini project, what we're going to do is we're going to be able to create a program to store and update student grades using slices. So it's just going to be like a student grades tracker, right, where we're able to track their grades, right? So so we're going to start. So we're going to have a function here called add grade. Let's say function add grade, and it's going to take in grades. That's going to be a slice, right? And the grades that we want to add in. So, and it's going to return back to us the slice, right? So that's it. So the add grade, what the add grade function does is so that it appends a new grade to the slice. That's just all what it does. Nothing really complex. So we'll just say return called append called grades, and then we pass in the grade. That's just all. And now in a function main, what we're going to do here is that we're just going to say grades. So we're going to initialize an empty grade. So let's just say grades, and let's do this and say int. So we have initialized an empty slice, sorry. And then we can do this. We cannot add grades to the tracker, right? So if we come down again, we can add that, and we can add this, right? And what we can just do is just print the students' grades, right? So we can just say fmt dot print ln, okay, and we print the students' grades. So this is it, and we could give that a run by saying go run arrays.go, and we have all the grades. So we build a simple student tracker, not really complex. So yeah, that's it. So let's just say here student grade tracker, okay, student grade tracker. So yeah, so that's that, and that's what is happening. So we are now going to be continuing with the next part, in which we are now going to try to work now with maps in Go, right? So maps in Go are key value pairs like in every other programming language. So we work with them by providing keys and values, and when we want to retrieve them, we retrieve them based on their keys, right? So maps are ideal for tracking quantities, associations, or inventories, right? So once again, I'm going to be okay, I'm just going to close that and just say here that this is a students, let's say students grade tracker. Okay, so that's that, and I can just comment all of this. Okay, now how then do we initialize the map, right? To initialize the map and with string keys and integer values, this is what we do. So we can say for example, let me bring this up a little bit. We can say for example inventory, okay, and the way we initialize is that we say map, okay, and since we said we had string keys, right, with integer values, right, so this is how we do it. You can come here and say for example apples, let's just say for example maybe we have 30 of them in our store, okay, and we'd say here bananas, okay, and let's say for example we have 15 of them in our store, okay. So that's how we work. And mind you that when working with these maps, at the end you always need to put a comma, okay. So if we want to access now the values for the apples, right, using keys, that's what I said earlier. So we're going to say fmt.println, and here we're going to say apples. We're going to say apples in stock, okay, or in the inventory or in the storage, right? So we're going to say here, and we're going to access apples, right? And that's that. And if we want to add a new item, we just call inventory, okay, not that much. We say inventory, no, not in it, inventory, and would say, let's say for example oranges, okay, and we can say 40, right? So that's going to work for that. That's how we add a new item. And if maybe we wanted to update the inventory for bananas, we are going to have this access it by the key, and then we can say 50, okay, and we can print all of that. We can say print inventory. So if we run that, if we clear, I will say go run arrays with go, then you see we have apples in stock 30, okay, and we added apples, bananas, and oranges, right, which is now present here, and you see we updated the count for bananas, okay. So that's how we are able to work with maps, with arrays, slices, and maps. So in this video 2 part, as usual, we're just going to build a very simple project again with the maps, because we've built the project using slices and arrays, but we haven't seen one with maps. It's very simple. So here we're just going to build an inventory management system using maps to track the quantity of items in stock, right? And this, well, what it just does is that it takes a map, an item, and a quantity, and updates the inventory. So the inventory keeps tracks of item quantities, right, using dynamic key value storage, just like we did here. Nothing complex. So this in itself can be like an example we've seen, right? But just that rather than having to write inventory origins, what we could just do, we could just create a simple function at the top here again, say func. We could say func update inventory, right? Inventory. And now what this function does, what does it do again? We're taking an inventory which is of type what? Map, which is of type map string int, okay, and then it takes in the item which is a string, and let's just say the quantity, the quantity which is an integer, and that's all that happens, okay. So we're going to say now inventory item and quantity. So this is all what happens. That's all what happens. So it just adjusts the quantity of the item in the stock or adds a new one. So what we can do is that we can comment this out and do this, and let's bring in a project, okay. So what we're going to do, as usual, we initialize the variable, so we can say inventory. Okay, and in that inventory we say map string, and we say int. So we have initialized an empty map, and we can add, say, update inventory by passing on whatever we want. So we can say inventory, and we say the quantity we want to pass, and we can say 30, the same, and we can just have to print that out. So, and what we can do here again is that we can now call the update inventory again, and say we want to pass in the inventory. Let's say we wanted to update bananas to 30. Yeah, that works fine. And then we print that again. So if we just clear our terminal and just try to run go.arrays.run again, and then you see here, you see that we had apples 30, bananas 15, apples 30, and bananas 30 now. So yeah, so this was just a simple bringing you up to speed, right, with being able to use arrays, slices, and maps. So yeah, just stick around for the next part, and just know that with this already you have a solid foundation. From there now you can try exploring other concepts, right, or other functions. You can try maybe getting the length of the map, doing a lot of crazy stuff. But with this already you have a very solid foundation. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned